Debbie Lacey, she, her. I'm the executive director and founder for Eastside for All.
Hello, my name is Guillermo. I'm with Eastside for All in the Housing Justice Organizers, and I use the pronouns he, him, or él in español.
My name is Angelica. I'm the Healing Justice Organizer with Eastside for All, and I use she, they pronouns.
What I love the most about being part of the Together Center is being a part of the whole vision of what Together Center stands for. Bringing together nonprofits that are obviously providing critical services to the community, but also with residents, people who needed a place to live. And that's what I love the most about it.
What I like about the Together Center is the community that you can build here. With the different organizations that are here is something like we didn't have it in the past, that they can go and knock in the door for one of our partners and just have a conversations with them instead of be waiting for a Zoom meeting or anything like that.
I love being at the Together Center because it's an open space that we can meet with community. We haven't had that before at Eastside for All. Having our own space where we can have our office space to meet, which is private and secluded, or we can meet in one of the public spaces with groups. And it has allowed us to host community spaces, host events, have folks come meet with us, and then connect them to other organizations that are hosted here to get services. I really like the Together Center because of that welcome and inclusive space, and we all have kind of shared values, so I know that if something was to pop off, that I could go to one of the people who work here and they would actually care. Unlike, just being in public and not knowing who you can go to, at least here, it's like a network space that also we are like a community, so we know each other a little bit, so we feel supported, and it feels like we're all working towards kind of the same common goal.
Well, when we first started, shortly after we started our organization, COVID hit, and that was very tough on many levels, of course, for all of us, but one of the things that was happening was we didn't, at that time, need a physical space, right? Everybody was sheltering in place, and there was Zoom, and so we didn't need a place. But that changed, of course, and as we grew, so did our need for a physical space to call our own, to have a home for our organization. And if it weren't for the Together Center, I don't believe we would have an Eastside-based office right now. I really don't think we would.
I think it's just given us a really solid foundation of oh, I know actually a place that we can rent for free, that we have keys to, that we have a little card to, that we can access. It has increased accessibility for meeting with community. It has increased our feelings of safety. And I think it has been a strong foundation for us mobilizing forward in our advocacy and in our efforts. And it's also giving folks a place that they feel like they can come.
I mean, the way that the Together Center amplified our impact is the fact that we can have a place where we can have community events. We operate in the cities of Redmond, Kirkland, and Bellevue. And in the cities of Bellevue and Kirkland, they don't have these kind of community buildings.
Our work at Eastside for All is really complex because we are first and foremost an advocacy organization for Black and Brown and immigrant communities, really trying to highlight their voices when it comes to housing, community safety, building, and the investment in our communities as we are contributors to the East Side. So it is complicated. I will say one of our successes has been in the capacity building of our fellow partners who are BIPOC and immigrant organizations, and really co-creating what that looks like together. We're not offering them, our expertise. We're just providing the opportunity for us to come together and lead together. And that has resulted not only in increased funding for all of us, but also increased visibility, leadership, impact when it comes to policies, and also space. Not only being able to access wonderful space here at the Together Center, but also in other places as our community grows and puts in more development for affordable housing and community spaces. So we're really excited about that.
One that comes to mind is the art show that we did with the Together Center. Marissa actually asked Eastside for All to like do a little call to our artists in the community, and we selected about 3 to 4 artists to showcase their art in the common space, and then we had like a little art show, and then people came and gathered, and we had like little speeches and stuff, and it was actually like super fun. And then I felt like it was a good opportunity to uplift the artists that work in our community, and it just brought community together. And it also kind of gave an opportunity for folks to showcase their art in a space that they haven't before. And so that's like one example, but we have so many examples because we actually do a lot of work here. So.
I just want to invite everybody to visit the Together Center. I think that this is a place where communities get together, right? And check our calendar. We have tons and tons of different events for different communities, for all the communities. Sometimes food, sometimes is how to get involved with some organization, or sometimes it's just to hang out with people.
I'm grateful for this space because it doesn't feel like a high pressure space where you have to be a certain way. It feels like you can just exist here. You can move in and out of the space freely, and it feels like a supported space, and it feels safe. So I do encourage more spaces like this to open up in different areas, and for people to be looking for community spaces that are like this and led by the community as well.
One more thing I would share, and I just experienced this yesterday by bringing a guest here to the Together Center to meet me, is that I love giving a little tour. I'm not as good as the staff here at doing that, but I love walking people through who have never seen it before. And to see the excitement that they experience is just so cool. I love that. And everybody who comes here to meet with us, if it's their first time visiting the campus, they're just in awe. They love it so much. They say, how can we have more of these? And of course, we know the Together Center gets that question all the time. And thank you for providing that leadership in the region and actually across the country for models like this. But that is super exciting. So I would love for everybody to know that if you haven't been to the Together Center yet, please come and enjoy the energy of it, because it's a really, really special place.